A blessed Sunday to us. This gospel reading today, especially the last part, when Jesus was talking about the division within the household, actually is a very interesting topic. And I remember as a seminarian, my favorite professor, in his book, has written a particular perspective on these divisions, or on this particular, what we call the division between father and son, mother and daughter, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. And I found this a very, very interesting perspective, because even in the natural order of things, when it comes to certain what we call common relationships and natural relationships, there are really divisions that are practically happening. And according to his perspective, he says, why is a son divided against his father? Why is the daughter divided against her mother? And why is the daughter-in-law divided against the mother-in-law? And this is sometimes a funny thing to take a look into, because we begin with why the mother-in-law is against the daughter-in-law. Because here we are talking about natural affiliation, natural affectation. Now, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, precisely because the daughter-in-law is taking the attention of the son from the mother. Because naturally, mothers or sons are close to their mothers. And that's the reason why the son is against the father. Because the rival of the father now with the son is with the mother. No? Di ba natural mangyug kayo ng mga anak na lalaki adto sa inahan. And on the other hand, the daughters also, they will take the attention from the mothers of the husband, because the daughters are clinging to their fathers. And so this is what we call the tendency nga although, well, naman siguro dili po hinoon-tinood. But this is this natural affectation tendencies that somehow would pose a division. However, this is not the only kind of thing that Jesus is reminding us. Because the real division that really happens is when the ego, when I takes place in everything. Because what is or who is most important, first of all, is to love God, to love Christ, to embrace Christ in our lives, first and foremost. Ang uban mo sunod na lang. And this is now actually the very reason why the challenge is so remarkable even up to this time, because it is not just about ourselves and Christ. It is also about the many things that are around us, preoccupying us and leaving behind the importance of Christ. And so, what is the bottom line of today's gospel reading? This is a very important challenge to put all things for Christ. So kadungog ta na ay couples for Christ. Wala ko nila bayri ha. Na ay singles for Christ. Na ay handmaids for Christ. Okay? Na apoy widows and widowers for Christ. We have families for Christ. So everyone for Christ. It is not about me, but it is about Christ that we're talking about. However, when we choose Christ in our lives, there are really things that somehow have to be put in a constant struggle, in a constant tension. But if people are together, praising the Lord, embracing Christ in their lives, wala gid sila laing rival. There is no one to be afraid of, because everyone is for Christ. And if everyone for Christ, to love Him, first of all and above all things, then everyone loves each other. Why? Because there is Christ in each and every one of us. We are the image of God. We are, as Christians, we are images of Christ in our lives. So, bisag kinsa pa nang atoang dawaton, whoever we embrace, for as long as we see Christ in that person. And not just even human beings. Christ can be manifested in the so many ways and the so many things that are around us, in as much as these people and these things can intensify our love for God and not love of the self. So division can only be caused when the ego is bloated. And when the ego is very much bloated and there is no more place for God, then that division is very dangerous. But once this division comes into the point of making a crucial decision for the Lord, like the second reading today, the final verse, no? You have not yet come to the point of shedding blood in order to witness for me, because witnessing is actually to shed one's blood, literally or figuratively, for the sake of Christ, for the sake of God, for the sake of our love to the one who is love himself and who loves us even much more we can think of. Amen.